Hello, everyone. Hello. I hope you all are doing awesome today. I'm so sorry. I have been trying to connect to this thing, like I mentioned in my alert video. This is like the first live I'm doing. I've never done this before, so please just bear with me as I try to figure out the technical part of the whole thing. But I hope you all are having a great Sunday. So I'm just really here today so we all can just have a conversation on a specific topic. I have an agenda in place though, but be rest assured that I will give you all some time for questions and answers. So I hope we will have fun for the next 1 hour. All right. So what I really want to talk about today, you know, um, I have been having a lot of questions. I have been trying my best to, respond to as many people as possible, but it's difficult to keep up. It really is. So, like I mentioned, I just decided to just start coming here from time to time so we can address a lot of these things and reach out to as many people as possible in just one setting. All right, so what I really want to talk about today, which is the little agenda I have in place, is who really can become a Scrum Master, or some specific questions you should ask yourself before you decide to become a Scrum Master. Because a lot of people reach out to me and they are just wondering. I mean, people got informed or became aware about Scrum in so many different ways. Some people, it happened by chance. Some people, they got introduced to it by their relative, friends. Some people through their job and all of that. And then in the process of finding themselves, people really need help with direction so that they want to be sure that this direction they are taking is the right one. Now, I have put in place some few questions that I would like you to ask yourself before you want to make this decision to become a Scrum Master, an Agile Coach, or a servant leader. So, some of these few questions that I would like you to ask yourself. Number one, regardless of the reason why you start thinking about becoming a Scrum Master in the first place, there are some few questions that for you to be sure that you're making the right decision, right? I need you to ask yourself these questions because I want you to be happy in what you're doing. I don't want this because this whole Scrum thing is so precious, especially to me. The whole Agile way of doing things is so precious to me to an extent that I really desire that anyone else that is coming into this should be able to enjoy it as much as I am enjoying it. So I just want to be sure that you're making the right decision for yourself because this is going to be what you will get up from your bed every morning and run to. Thanks, everyone. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you all. Yeah, so the number one question that you want to ask yourself: are you passionate about helping people? That is the first question you should ask yourself. Naturally, do you enjoy helping people? Naturally. That's the very first question you should ask yourself because being a servant leader, that's all what it's all about. To an extent, I call it is a form of pastoring. You should really enjoy helping people. That way, if you become a Scrum Master, it will be easy for you to do this without any struggle because every single day of your professional life, it will be about helping people to achieve their goals, helping people to find solutions to problems. You will not actually be the one finding these solutions to problems, but you will be helping people finding solutions to problems. So, naturally, do you enjoy helping people? Solution. Do you enjoy doing that? If that answer is yes, then you can become a good Scrum Master. The second question you want to ask yourself: Are you able to influence people without direct authority? A lot of people, when they go for their interview, they just say, oh, I am able to influence people without direct authority, just because they've read it somewhere. Do you actually know, or do you actually understand what influencing people without direct authority means? That's the question you should be asking yourself. Influencing people without direct authority, trust me, in reality, it's not easy. It's really not easy. Trust me. Because sometimes you may think everybody should be going towards the right, but for some reason they don't want to go towards the right, and then you find yourself wanting to impose because you feel like it is the right thing to do. But at the same time, being a true servant leader, you shouldn't force people to do anything, even if you think it's the right thing to do. You should let them be able to make their own decisions. And now it's all up to you on your ability to influence them without direct authority, to inspire them. Naturally, do people always come to you and tell you that you inspire them? Do people listen to you? Do people always run to you for direction and stuff like that? Do people always find peace talking to you comfortably? That is the characteristics of someone that is able to influence people without direct authority. So if you know that you can influence people without imposing, without forcing them on anything, then being a Scrum Master or an Agile Coach will be good for you. The third question you would ask yourself before, venturing into this, do you enjoy transferring knowledge? Do you enjoy teaching people? Like what I'm doing right now, you should be comfortable doing it without any struggle. Do you enjoy teaching people how to do things? People, do you know, or can you transfer knowledge to people to a point where they would understand what you're trying to say in a very simplified way? Are you able to do that? If you are able to, if the answer to that question is yes, then you will become a great Scrum Master. The next question that you want to ask yourself, do you enjoy being in the spotlight? This is a very important question. And you know why? As a servant leader, yes, you are there to help people get their results. You are there to help people achieve their desired outcome and all of that. But if you are that person that always enjoy being at the spotlight, then Scrum Mastering or being an Agile practitioner is not for you. You know why? Because most of the time the result of your hard work is hardly ever seen. Because if you are a good servant leader, most of the time you will be behind the scene. For example, during a typical sprint review meeting, when your developers are demoing all the great things that you all have accomplished during the sprint, and then they are getting all of these credits from the stakeholders and all of that, trust me, most of the time you are never noticed in that meeting. It's just like you don't even exist. Meanwhile, you've really been the one behind the scene to help them achieve this great outcome. However, as they are getting these credits from their stakeholders, if it gives you satisfaction to see your developers happy getting this credit, then you will become you can become a great Agile practitioner. But if you feel left out, if you start having that feeling of envy or jealousy, like, okay, why are they not recognizing me? I have been in this thing. It's because of me that they're achieving this. If you start having that kind of feeling, then I don't think Scrum Mastering and Agile Coach is for you. But if you feel a sense of satisfaction, right, just watching your developers having all the accolades from stakeholders and all of that, you not being on the spotlight, and then you can become an awesome Agile practitioner. The sixth question, thank you all so much for watching. Yeah, I will make sure I respond to the questions, to all of your questions. I'll make sure I respond to the most questions I am able to respond to. Yeah, so this is still my very first live, like I mentioned. So just bear with me. This is Agile we're talking about. It's all about continuous learning and continuous improvement. And it's no different from what I'm currently doing as far as this live is concerned. I'm going to continuously learn and figure the whole thing out. All right. The sixth question you would like to ask yourself is, all right, are you able to handle conflict? Are you that kind of a person, when conflict arises, you want to avoid it? You just want to run away from it, or you just want to pretend like it doesn't exist? Are you capable of handling conflict in a corporate environment? And as an agile practitioner, if you answer this question like yes, you are capable of handling conflict, I want to be sure that you understand what being able to handle conflict really means. It doesn't mean you need to come and be in the middle and be the judge or anything like that. No. As a servant leader, the way you handle conflict is very different from any other kind of conflict management, which means that you're really not there to be the judge and say, oh no, you're right, you were wrong, and all of that, or even give your own opinion. No, you're not giving your own opinion. What you're doing at that point is you are just being a facilitator, and you empower the parties to figure out why their relationship is not healthy, and then look for a desired solution to overcome their challenge. So you're just there as a facilitator. As a servant leader, being a good conflict facilitator is what you really need, rather than being a problem solver. Because I hear a lot of people, when they go for their interviews or when they're just having conversation, they usually say, I'm a great problem solver. No, that's not what servant leadership, conflict resolution is all about. Throughout your career as a true servant leader, what you will really be doing is influencing your team, empowering them to resolve their own conflict. And how do you do that? You need to have good tactics to facilitate. So if you are able to do that, or you see yourself being comfortable with doing all of that without any struggle, without being biased or anything like that, okay, then I believe that you will really enjoy being a Scrum Master or an Agile Coach. And then the eighth question that you would like to ask yourself: are you a good listener? Are you a good listener? Are you that kind of a person that you're listening and then you already have your own thing to respond back? Or are you truly listening to truly understand? As a good Scrum Master, you should be able to draw a fine line where you are required to take action, and that is, you should be able to draw a fine line between where you're required to jump quickly and take action, or to just sit back and listen to your team members' rants. Because sometimes you find yourself in a situation where your team members are just so stressed and they just need to rant and feel better. It's not every issue of frustration that really needs you giving your input. Sometimes people just want to be listened to. Are you that kind of a person that is able to listen, that is twin on your third degree listening capabilities, and listen with true empathy? Just listen and be able to walk in that person's shoe for 1 second. Even when you think what the person is saying doesn't really make any sense. But are you capable of just being patient and listen with true empathy? If you have that kind of qualities, then trust me, you will enjoy being a Scrum Master or an Agile Coach. The ninth question that I'd like you to ask yourself before venturing into this: are you comfortable with uncertainty? This one is very huge. Every standard job has some form of routine like that, where every day you know what to go to work and expect. Every single day, you know that, okay, I am walking in this door. I'm going to sit and this is what I'm going to do all day until my 8 hours is over, and then I walk back home. If you are that kind of routine-oriented person, then Scrum Mastering is not for you. You may find it hard to cope in that kind of environment. Do you know why? Because there is no 2 days in the life of a Scrum Master that is the same. There is no 2 days that's the same in the life of a Scrum Master. Your Monday will never be like a Tuesday. Your Tuesday will never be like your Wednesday. The only routine that is in place in the life of a Scrum Master are just the standard Scrum events. Worst of all, as an Agile coach, you really don't have all these standard Scrum events to follow. You don't have no standard events to follow. It means that every day you will be walking into your workplace not knowing what you will meet. If you are that kind of a person who is not very comfortable with uncertainty, then you want to question your decision to want to become a Scrum Master. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you also so much for watching. I will make sure I try to respond to your comments as I am able. But if you enjoy the uncertain nature of an Agile practitioner, then Scrum Mastering may be the right thing for you. This may be the right profession for you, because this is what really excites me in this whole thing as a servant leader. Just knowing that I am going into work every day not knowing what to expect, it really excites me. I love challenges. I'm not that kind of a person that is very routine friendly. No, I love to go in there and meet new challenges and then partner with people, collaborate with people, that team spirit, that coalition, for us to figure it out together. That kind of thing just excites me. That kind of setting just excites me. So if you are that kind of person that finds excitement, in helping people, when you don't even know what to expect, when you don't even know what you will be doing on a Monday or on a Tuesday, every single day of your life, okay, then I would advise you to go ahead, pursuing your Agile journey. And then the last but not the least question: are you comfortable with empowering people to learn from their own mistakes? Are you comfortable with giving people second, third, fourth, fifth chances? Are you comfortable doing that? If you're comfortable doing that, if you have that mindset of it's okay for people to make mistakes, it's okay for people to fail safely, create that environment where people can safely fail. If you're comfortable with that, then trust me, you will be an awesome servant leader. But if you are that kind of a person that is more focused on looking at, okay, how do I punish this person for making this mistake? If you are that kind of a person, then Scrum Master may not be for you, because this whole environment, trust me, is all about, even you yourself as a Scrum Master, as an Agile coach, it's all about continuously testing things, trying things out, figuring things out, failing along the line, picking things up, learning as you go, just empowering people to feel safe, to fail, and then learn from their mistake and do better next time. If you believe in empowering people to learn from their mistakes, giving people second chances, and learning and growing and continuously improving, then trust me, Scrum Mastering is for you. If you have a sense of fulfillment, just being there and guiding people to fail and then learn and then continuously grow gradually, patiently, and improving, then I am very certain that you will be an awesome Agile practitioner. So again, I am very sure that I have gone through all of the 10 points I had to discuss here with you today. And like I mentioned, for those who are just joining, thank you all so much for joining. I really appreciate it. The reason why I am talking about this, all right, okay, let's see. Let me try to rotate this. Let me try to fix this. Sorry. Yeah, like I mentioned, I'm not a very camera friendly person. I'm still figuring out this thing, trust me, but I'll get better. I'll get better. Uh-oh. Everybody's saying the same thing. I've not been looking at these comments. Okay. Thank you all so much. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I hope it's better now. Please just confirm if it's better now. Just confirm with me if it's better. I'm still learning. Please just bear with me. I'm still learning. You know, I just have to figure out a way to bring this information to you. So just bear with me with all of my flaws, all of my mistakes. Yeah, I just because I am not very this kind of life thing friendly, it doesn't mean I should keep all the good stuff in me. I just have to figure out a way to bring it to you. So I appreciate it. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. Yeah, but I hope you got the point. I hope you got the point. Yeah. All right. So okay, so like I was saying, the reason why I decided to talk about this in the first place, yeah, thank you. The reason why I decided to talk about this in the first place is because different categories of people with different levels of experiences at different levels in their agile journey have been reaching out a lot, and some of them really are confused. They really need direction, because you find some people, for example, you'd find typically people that have been thriving to land their first role, and then they know that they've done everything they're supposed to do on their path, and then for some reason they are just not getting what they are looking for, and then they start doubting themselves. They start wondering, is this even the right path for me? Is agile, being an agile practitioner, even the right thing for me? They start asking themselves all these kind of questions. But I'll tell you, all of these 10 points that I've listed here today, if you naturally feel that you're that kind of a person, and then you feel that you have been doing all the learning and getting all the certifications that you need in order to land that job, and you haven't still be able to get what you're looking for, trust me, what I can tell you at this point is that you are doing the right thing. You are on the right track. Just continue to believe in yourself. Just continue to believe in yourself. But what I will tell you that a lot of people really don't talk about for some reason, I'm not sure why, especially you go online, you really don't see these things online. Even in books, they are really not there. You need someone that can direct you. You need someone that will help you, hold your hand, to really evaluate how far you have come with the journey. If you truly feel that naturally you have all these 10 characteristics, or you can positively answer all these 10 questions that I have here, and then you think that you have done the most you can as far as the knowledge is concerned, and then you're still not able to land that job, I think what you need, which a lot of people really don't talk about, is find someone who is dedicated, who can hold your hand, really evaluate you and be very honest with you and give you a good feedback on the gaps that you truly have, and then help you walk you through the process of closing that gap. Not just that person who just come and list that, okay, here are your mistakes, here are your mistakes, and just go away. No. Look for that person that will hold your hand, that will direct you, that may even give you room to truly understand what happens on the ground, and then help you close that gap so that you may eventually land that first role that you're looking for. It is very important. Very, very important. And what I'm talking about, that person that will help you direct you, is having a mentor. It is highly essential. Trust me. Even the people that hold the principal agile coaches position, they have mentors. And that is, I'll tell you, that is how they've been able to get to where they are today. They have mentors. And that's the beauty about this whole agile journey. Every day, you continuously learn. For you to be a great agile practitioner, you must have that self-starter mentality. Because I see a lot of people, they try 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, and then they keep getting that rejection letter. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry. We cannot go with you right now because we have better candidates. And then you become so frustrated. You just don't want to do it anymore. You start looking for other things. If you have that kind of mindset, even if you eventually become this Scrum Master and then on the job, because trust me, in reality, every single day, you will have some feeling of frustration because things may not be going how you want them to be. And then as a servant leader who is supposed to influence people without authority, you cannot force nobody to do anything. You would always have this sense of frustration. If you are that kind of person that cannot really remain consistent to achieve your goal, even if you eventually land the Scrum Master role, you will not be able to keep it. You will not be able to keep that job. So if you have been struggling, right, you think that you have all these, you're able to answer all these questions, these 10 questions that I've listed today, and then you think that you have covered the knowledge gap, and then you're still not able to land that role, find a mentor. You will not regret it. That I know for sure. Find a mentor. You may come to us, reach out to us directly. We have lots and lots of testimony. I mean, I just feel a sense of fulfillment when I'm part of people's success story. Not just any kind of success, because to us, success is not just about landing that job. That's not what we call success. So us, success is, okay, what next? What I do, for me to know that my candidates, my students or my mentees are successful, is if they start reaching out to me, asking me to direct them to start doing what I'm doing. If you're comfortable doing what I'm doing, like reaching out to people like this, sharing knowledge, just wanting to help people, just spread the word, then that's how I know I have been successful in mentoring you. That's how I know. It's not just that we don't measure success by you landing that job. That's not what success means to us, especially to me. To me, success is the impact you are able to create through that job, through this servant leadership job. That is what success means to me. Are you able to impact people's life individually, in your profession, everywhere you go? Are you able to inspire people to believe in themselves again? If you're able to do all of these things, then you've been successful as a servant leader. So it's way beyond just having a job. And then another category of people that have been reaching out a lot and asking this question. Yes, I do. I mentor people who are just starting from scratch, like who have no idea, but they think that they want to give this a shot, and which is what I'm about to say right now. Yeah, so yeah, Jean-Philippe. Yeah, I do. I mentor people that are just starting on this journey. I mentor them. So which is what I'm about to say right now. That's the second category of people that have been reaching out a lot and trying to just get direction if this is even something they should venture into. If after you have answered all of these questions and you see yourself as this person who would be able to express all of these 10 things that I just mentioned comfortably without any struggle. I mean, even when you're struggling, because sometimes a lot of my mentees and people I relate with, they ask me, how do you even do this? How do you even do this? You never ever have time to rest. Sometimes they feel sorry for me. It's not like it's easy. It's really not easy. But just because I have the true passion to do this, I don't feel the pain. I really don't feel the pain. Yes. So coming back to my point, if you see yourself as that person who can comfortably do this, and then you don't know which one is right for you or the direction to take, because trust me, there is just too much information out there. But you need a clear scope. You need a clear scope so that you don't end up drowning in so much information and then feeling overwhelmed and then finally let everything fall and break. You don't want to be in that position either. So yes, for starters, I suggest that you just go ahead and take an official training. Go to a formal training. Do a formal training. And yes, we do offer training. We do. Yes, it doesn't work when it's your passion. It's not. So pastry, really, it just cannot be your passion if you see it as a job. It's not your passion, because passion can truly not be bought. Passion is the only thing that you can never buy. You can never buy passion. So if you see yourself as always wanting to be rewarded for something you did, and then that's not passion. That's not passion. Yeah, so that's a great comment. That's a great point. Thank you so much. Yeah, so for starters, I suggest that you look for a formal training. People that offer training, take a formal training that will help you carve out the scope of what really matters. Don't just go all over the place. Yeah, I see a lot of people doing self-study, do all of that, and then they still make it. People do that. People do a lot of that. But trust me, it makes your journey easy and with a sense of direction if you go through a formal training, and then from there you can continuously build on that foundation, that formal foundation that you've had, and then from there you get a mentor that will help you close that certification gap. You just having a certification, trust me, it's just like a scratch of the surface of what you truly need to be successful in this journey. Because I'll see people reaching out to me and telling me that I am a Scrum Master, but I've been looking for a job for a long time and I've not been able to get a job. Okay, then how are you a Scrum Master? Because when the people just go have a certification, they start thinking they're a Scrum Master. No, you are not. You are not. You are just a certification holder. Yes, someone with a known IT background can definitely become a Scrum Master. I don't have any IT background. So just to add to the list of points that I just mentioned, this is a very important point as well. Yes, you may not have any IT background, but you should be able to have some level of understanding of the software development lifecycle. You should be able to have some level of understanding. And again, being technical as well is a plus for you. It's a plus, but it's not a requirement. It's not a requirement, but it's a plus for you. And it's very important that you have some certain understanding of the software development lifecycle. And the reason is because you can easily follow through with conversation. The conversations that your developers are having, it will be easy for you to follow along as they're having this conversation. Because that way you'll be able to really identify their impediments. Because it's not all impediments that these developers are able to even understand that they are actually impediments. So as a Scrum Master, if you don't have at least a little understanding of the technical aspect of the thing, you yourself will not be able to identify this impediment. And then how are you going to help them remove this impediment? You may not be able to help them remove it. So it is very important that you have some basic understanding of the technical aspect. And then every day you keep improving. It's no knowledge is ever useless. That's what I'll tell you. Because I also see some people just say, oh, no, you don't need to be technical to be a Scrum Master. So it's not my job to be technical. No, don't say that. You truly are not required to be, but it's always good to have an understanding of it. All right. So I think I have covered my agenda. So I'm just going to spend some time to answer your questions here as much as I am able. Formal training example is yes, Jean-Philippe. Formal training example. That's what I mean. Go to a boot camp. You can take your training through. I see the two common training bodies is Scrum Alliance, scrum.org. You can go there. Being Agile also offer training. So we offer training, and then you can go on scrum.org to get certified. But this training, trust me, these trainings that they give in these 2 days trainings that you go get to get your certification is just a scratch of the surface. It's just a scratch of the surface. Yeah, because that's just how the training is structured. It just gives you the foundation of what you're supposed to know. Once you have that, then you are required to continuously learn, build yourself before you can even get that job. But the training that we offer is very customized. Our training is customized to reflect real life, which means that once you're done with the training, the level, what we call level 1 training, once you're done with that training, if they throw you on the field, you should be able to survive. Yep. If they throw you, if they just shoot you in one office as a Scrum Master, you should definitely be able to survive. So people take our training and then they go get certified, and then they can move on to look for their jobs through their mentor. Other people will finish our training, get certified. Some people who take our level 1 training, they are already working, but they still have the gap of understanding the concept. All right, Cornelius is asking, can one become a Scrum Master with no degree? Yes, but it's always good to, I see most of the time the minimum requirement is always a bachelor's degree, but also I see a lot of jobs out there asking you can become one without a degree. But even if you eventually get that job without a degree, trust me, I strongly urge you to continue to work on your education to at least have a bachelor's degree if you are able to. I urge you to do that. But yes, you can become a Scrum Master without a degree. See, let me tell you, Cornelius, it's all about how you present yourself. It's truly all about how you present yourself. If you go for an interview, right, and then they ask you all of these interview questions, you answer them with real life examples, real life experience, there's no way they will not hire you because you don't have a degree. They will hire you. But I always urge you that even if you already have that job, because it's easy for you to just give up on your education just because you're seeing the money. Don't give up on your education. It's very important. How long is your training? Okay, so for the level 1 training, so we have 3 different levels. For the theoretical training, which is what I've just been talking about here, it's a 1-month program. We have classes twice a week. So in total, you will need 8 lessons for you to finish your program. And then for those who are taking the training that are not certified yet, they finish the training and then they go get certified, and then they can choose to move forward with us, like getting a mentor to walk you through helping you until you land that first role. I mean, our program is just awesome. And then some of our students, they already have a certification. Maybe they've already gone through Scrum Alliance and then they have this 2-day certification. They come to us and then they close that gap to truly understand the concept. And then they go ahead to start looking for their job. So once they are done with the training, they just go ahead and start looking for their job. And then we also have people that are already working, but they think that they still lack understanding of the concept. They still come and take the training. But yes, you need 8 lessons in total for you to finish a session. And it's a 1-month program. Because we don't want to overwhelm you. So the pace based on feedback of students is very sustainable. Completed the CSM training in June. I have watched several videos and possible Scrum interview questions, and I have thrown in more than 100 job applications, but I received only. All right, Gideon. I think your case is a very common thing that happens out there, which is what I talked about earlier. You need a mentor. That would be my recommendation for you. See, it's very important for you to invest in yourself. Trust me, what the gain you will have from investing in yourself, it can never ever compare to the money you pay, ever. That has been my experience. I have my personal mentor. Because it don't only help you have that job, it helps you close the gap in so many aspects. Even sometimes you go through a professional emotional trauma. This thing is not easy. Trust me, being a servant leader in real life is not easy, because you are not able to truly express your own feelings most of the time, because you have to be strong for your team, the people you're working for. It's hardly ever about you. So some of these times when I would need this kind of emotional support, I cannot go cry to people who are looking up to me. I would have to run to my mentor. So having a mentor is a necessity. It's not an option. That's what I'll tell you. It's not an option, trust me. So yes, Gideon, I think I would suggest you getting a mentor. Get a mentor that will help you close that gap, transfer their experience to you, even give you a platform to try things out and fail, and then walk you through the process until you finally land your job. All right. So Lauren is asking, how did I get hired? That's a great question, Lauren. So I got my first Scrum Master job. It was just by chance, or I'd say divine intervention. Permit me say that, but that's what I truly believe. So I was already working as a project manager after I had my master's degree in the traditional project management. So I just had this opportunity in my organization. We have these constant trainings going on here and there all the time. So most of these boring trainings that they would always ask employees to take. So luckily enough, that day for me, it was a mandatory lunch and learn. And because the organization was looking to transition into Agile, so I was so fortunate to be part of that. And then, I just found myself being so passionate about it because these were the things that I was already doing naturally. And then again, because my organization had already noticed this threat in me, they decided to pick me as one of the super users, which means that they trained us to be able to train other people on what we've learned, or direct other people in the company on what we've learned. After that, it was a game changer for me. I was so passionate about it. I could not think of anything else, like rather than thinking this is a perfect career path for me. And then I did not only end there, I decided to go back to school. I did a master's in Agile project management. I came back to my organization. I asked them if they could be my guinea pig. Unfortunately, they said yes, because I had an awesome boss at that time and who was also really interested in it and wanted to learn. And so the project I was working on at that time, we decided to scrum the project. It wasn't like it was a success, it was a huge failure. But the great news is that it was a safe environment for me to fail and grow. So that was how I started. And then I got that foundation in the organization when I thought I was solid enough. And then another opportunity came my way. That's how I continuously thrive until I got to where I am today. So yeah, in an active sprint, a team member realized that the 2-story point was meant to be a 4-point. What do you do? Okay. So reading this to your question, there is no 4-story points in the first place in the Fibonacci series. Reading this there is nothing like 4-story points. 4-story doesn't exist in the Fibonacci series. So, but if I understand your question correctly, yes, if you realize that you underestimated that story as a sprint is ongoing already, you can go ahead and split the story into 2. Or if you think that is too big, as long as it's able to fit in just that one sprint, it's okay. But you cannot go ahead and start changing estimates. That would defeat the purpose. If you think that one story doesn't need to be splitted, but you think that the estimate should truly be 4 and not 2, first of all, the question I'll ask, but for that time to resolve that issue, I'll take it as a lesson learned. And then in our next retrospective, we'll discuss it and find out the root cause of why we did not notice that in the first place. Is it because we did not have enough information to know that? And then if we did not have enough information, how were you able to say the story is ready to get into the sprint? Those are kind of questions I'll ask though. Those are kind of questions I would ask. I always come from a place of first discovering the root cause of the issue. But if you are thinking you would have to go in there and start changing your story point, your estimates at story point level, that's not a very good practice. Yeah, so take it as a lesson learned and then adapt in your next sprint. Adapt in your next sprint. Apply what you've learned in your next sprint. That's what I'll do. Really in this. How realistic is it to find an entry-level Scrum Master job after the formal training? Well, Jean-Philippe, to this question, it's not easy. It is challenging, but that's, again, if you have a mentor, that's going to be a very easy thing. Yeah, so I tell you that because we have helped a lot of people land their first role. But what I'll tell you is that, like I mentioned before, you just having that certificate, that 2 days training thing, is just a scratch of the surface. You need that mentor that will tell you the truth, that you need more understanding, and will have that time to train you or direct you to where you can really get that solid training that will cover what you're supposed to know from a Scrum Master standpoint as far as Agile is concerned, Scrum is concerned, Kanban, because there is no way you can be a true Scrum Master without having a little understanding of Kanban. That's the reality on the ground, but nobody tells you that. And when you go for your Scrum Master training, the 2 days one, nobody's talking about Kanban. But there is no way you can be a successful Scrum Master without having a little understanding of Kanban, because from time to time you will need to switch to Kanban based on the nature of the work, the complexity of the work. So yes, you will need to have a solid understanding of Agile. That's the being Agile part of it. The mindset, you need to understand what it really means. You need to understand the competency you need to be successful. You need to understand enough in Kanban to be successful. You need to know complete Scrum. And then you need to have some solid understanding of SAFe. SAFe is not what I do, but I have some enough to be able to do my job successfully. Yes, in reality, you will need to have that understanding, but nobody tells you that when you go for your 2 days training. So yes, even if you go take that 2 days training, you still need a good mentor to help you identify what the gaps and then close it for you to land that job. Yeah, but it's hardly ever possible that you just go get a 2 days training and then you go get a job. That's not possible. I mean, everything is possible, but that may be challenging. Please, can you say something about MVP? It's important to the team. Yeah, minimum viable product is very important to the business, and the business should be important to the team. Yeah, it's really important to the business though, not, but again, the business should be the team's priority. So yeah, so I'm not sure what you're asking about minimum viable product. Yeah, it's important. If you're just asking to know if it's important, it's really important to the business, because the business needs to validate their hypothesis before start producing things and pushing into the market. And they validate their hypothesis by producing this MVP and making sure that it passed the test before they can carry out they can run a full-blown production. Have you ever worked as a business analyst? Well, as a Scrum Master, as a true 7-leader Scrum Master, trust me, from time to time, you need to play the role of a business analyst. But carrying the title of a business analyst, I've never worked as a business analyst in title, but my job tells me to play the role of a business analyst from time to time. And I have a business analyst educational background because one of my measures in my master's program was business analysis. So I have a solid understanding of it. All right. You're welcome, Relindis. Okay. So Arafat, MD Arafat is asking, what does self-organization mean? As a VP, think the team is not self-organized, what would you do? Yeah, that's a very good question. As a 7 leader, I think I've addressed that in this question. Instead of you trying to solution for your team all the time, trying to look for their solution for them, you empowering them to own the work. That's the product. Own the framework. That's the Scrum that I'm talking about. Own the metrics and all of that is what we call self-organization. So the business just have to bring the what they need them to do. And then you as a Scrum Master, you empower them to a point where they believe that they are part of they are stakeholders themselves. They're like shareholders, business partners. You want your team members to see themselves as business partners, which means that they want to completely own the how part of it. They want to completely own the how part of it. How should this be done? Nobody telling them how to do it. And they don't have to be told before they do things. They are so conscious and so committed to get it right. They organize themselves all the time. A Scrum Master doesn't have to be in their events before their events will hold. Even if a Scrum Master doesn't show up, they go ahead and hold their events without the Scrum Master. They go ahead and reach out to the PO to prioritize backlog and be proactive. Without the Scrum Master doing that, they go ahead and remove their impediments until they are really stuck before they want the input of a Scrum Master. That's what self-organization is really all about. Your team, you empowering your team to be accountable. And for them to be accountable, they need to own the work. That's the product. They need to own the framework. you not babysitting them or, mommying them around. Yeah, that's what that really means. How does, so I just have some few minutes here to go. How does Scrum Master self-assess to show his or her own progress to the person who Scrum Master has to report to? That is a great question, and it's a very difficult question because that's a valid concern on the ground. Because sometimes, because most organizations that are still transitioning, they still have the mentality of their old way of performance evaluation. So they may be asking Scrum Masters for some kind of unrealistic things. For example, you would find maybe your boss may ask you to add to your performance evaluation thing as you would want to improve the team's velocity from 60 to 90. That's not realistic, because if you have empowered your team to become high performing already, which is the desired state, that's where they should truly be, your velocity cannot increase. Because you know why? Velocity shouldn't be used as a performance evaluation tool. It should be used as for predictability. So your stakeholders may be asking for some unrealistic things, and then it's your place to coach them to understand how Scrum Master really works. But to answer your question, for you to successfully to come up with metrics to show your value, the value, that the impact you've created to the team, focus on number one. You want your I'm just going to state like two examples. Your team becoming so high performing, which means that your team is truly reflecting ownership and accountability. Your team is truly reflecting all of the Scrum values, all of the 5 Scrum values. The organization can truly see your team hungry for knowledge, hungry to do the right thing, not being told what to do. They go out of their way to look for solutions to their problems, which means that you have implanted the values of Scrum in them. Yes, that should be one of your, that should be one of the ways you want to assess your contribution. And then another way, another aspect that you can assess your contribution is, if you notice that, because most teams that I've worked with, they hardly ever have a good metrics tracking tool. And remember, if you don't have metrics, you are just another person in the room with your own opinion. So that's a very great way to help your team become really structured, and then so that they are making decisions based on fact. Remember the principle of empiricism in Agile. Yeah, they are making the decisions based on fact. You need to help them establish good metrics. For a typical great place to start is helping them establishing their burn down chart, again based on their level of maturity, helping them establish velocity, sprints report, release, burn down or burn up, these kind of things. Help them establish it and make sure that they are using it correctly. Yeah, that's how I'll answer that question. So those are just 2 examples that you can use to assess, to show the value that you've brought to the organization. All right. All right, please. Yeah, thank you, Jean-Philippe. Please make sure you're liking, you're sharing. Share so other people can benefit. Yeah, I was supposed to be here even 1 hour early, but your girl is still struggling to figure out this whole life thing. So I was late, and I know that some people were already connected, but they left early. So please like and share. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. I mean, I find me talking about this whole Agile and Scrum thing with you all, it's my safe place. You may be thinking that I am just really helping you. Yes, I am doing that. But on the other hand, I just find some sense of fulfillment doing this. It's so fulfilling to come here and share all of this with you. I'm just so in love with it. Okay, Tochi, your question. You have a few team members who are so quiet during retro meetings. How can I make them? All right, Tochi, I think I have a video on my channel that speaks to that particular question. I've provided great insight based on my experience on how I've done that, and I'm still doing that. So, especially offshore team members, for some reasons, I realize that contractors, they just want to keep their job. Even if they have some great points, they just struggle to speak up because they don't know if these things may be used against them and would affect their job. So yes, go Tochi, please just, I think I posted that video 2 weeks ago. Just go and look it up and please watch. All right. You're welcome, Yemi. You're welcome. I really just find joy doing this. Thank you, Patsy. Thank you, Patsy. Yes, I love it. I just love it. And I hope other people can just join me in this beautiful journey. I hope I can impact as many lives as possible. Keep your questions coming. Guys, I have just like 4 minutes here to go. Keep your questions coming. Keep your questions coming so I can answer as many questions as possible. All right, I will post the link. I don't know how to go back and forth on this thing. I'm still learning. Please just bear with me today. I'm still learning. See, let me tell you people something. You see me talking like this. This is not how I used to be. Like out of Agile, I'm a very introverted person. Introverted, is that how they say it? Out of Agile. It's only when I'm really talking about Agile that I just get out of my shelf like that. Out of Agile, I'm very introverted. Like that's how I am naturally. I'm not a very social media person like that. But as far as this Agile is concerned, I needed to look for a way to reach out to people. I just couldn't keep it in me because I felt like it was too beautiful to just keep it to myself. So I had to look for a way to reach out to people. That's how I started doing this. But if it wasn't Agile, you would never see me out here. So please just bear with me as I continue to learn and improve on this whole social media thing. All right, Petra, thank you. But don't worry, I will I will try to figure it out, Petra. Okay, best bachelor's degree to help your credential. 2 kinds of degree. You can have a business degree, any kind of business degree. Bachelor's in economics, bachelor's in business administration and management. I see a whole lot of people having that. I have a bachelor's in enterprise administration and management. That's my bachelor's degree, and my major was economics. Or you can have a bachelor's in science. Yeah, I mean computer science. Most of the job descriptions, that's what I see there. Even the companies I've worked for and I've always been part of the hiring team, that would be what we put on our job description. Would ask people's minimum requirement to be bachelor's in business, any business kind of bachelor's, or bachelor's in computer science. Hi, Samuel. Nice to meet you again. Yes, so average velocity is not a good metrics to use. Does average velocity have any use? Yes, average velocity has a lot of importance. You know why? Average velocity is a great metrics to use if your organization understand the purpose of it. So if you've not, and it's your job to make your organization understand the purpose of it. If your organization is using it as a performance tracking tool, then that's dangerous. Or performance evaluation tool, that's dangerous. It should be used for predictability. And it's all your organization only wants to use this information to make predictive business decision rather than using it to measure how you're performing and then rating your performance and punishing you or crediting you and all of that. So if you realize that your organization doesn't understand the purpose, which I just said, the purpose is for predictability, then it's your job to coach them to understand it. That's how it works. But it's a very powerful tool because it's always important to be predictable so that it also helps your customer know what to expect every sprint. To create stability, it's very important. And for your team as well, your team always know what they should expect, what they can offer every time. It just gives them some sense of peace. And then from there, from that baseline, they can thrive to want to add more based on how they continuously learn to sharpen their skills and be able to do things faster than they used to do. How do you apply Agile in your personal life? Oh my God, that's a great question, Patsy. I love this question. And this is how our consulting was born, being Agile. I applied just by me coming out here to talk to you. To me, that's being Agile. Agile, I just only hope you understand the difference between Agile and Scrum though. Agile is the mindset, aspect. It's not the frame, it's not the doing thing, the meetings that you have in the sprints and all of that. No. I express Agile in my personal life just by me coming out here to share this with you. This is being Agile. I am passionate about people. I love to see people succeed. I just find fulfillment in helping people achieve their goal, achieve their result. I believe so much in helping people, letting people feel safe and learn and, improve. I am also very passionate about creating a safe environment where everyone should feel like they have a voice, where everyone should feel like their opinion matters, where everyone feels like it's okay for them to contribute, even if they think their question doesn't make any sense. It's okay. They can feel very comfortable to even ask it, even when they themselves think it's a dumb question. That's how I express Agile in my daily life, Patsy. I hope that answers your question. That's what Agile is all about. The mindset, putting people first, showing real results, making decisions based on facts, the principle of empiricism as opposed to assumptions. Management and operations management. What's that? All right, you're right. Smart when I watch several videos. All right. Yes, thank you all so much. Yes, that's great. Keeping a positive mindset. And again, keeping a positive mindset, to me, it doesn't mean that even if something is not right, you just remain, you just want to tell people that, oh, it's a good thing, it's positive. No, you should give people real feedback, but again, help them to maintain their belief in themselves. For those who already believe in themselves, for those who don't even believe that it's possible, and you make them see some possibility in it. Yeah, just be very positive. Have a positive spirit. That's what I'll say. Yeah, that's being Agile. Yeah. Bachelor's in project management is awesome. Yes, Cornelius, that will be a great bachelor's background to have to be successful in this path. The next time when I come live, what I would be talking about is the growth opportunity, because a lot of people keep wondering if after being a Scrum Master, what next? A lot of people wonder a lot about that. Where I am today, I started off as a standard Scrum Master, but currently I am not to boast or anything, but I'm just sharing this with you just so that you know that there is a huge growth potential in this field. That's the reason why I'm sharing this information that I want to share with you right now. I started off as a standard Scrum Master, but at this point I am a VP in my current organization. I work as a VP. In my current organization, I do a whole lot of different things. I mean, there's a lot of growth potential in this whole journey. And it's beautiful because you have some sense of fulfillment. Every day you wake up from your bed and you're so excited to go find out what's out there in this whole journey. All right. Yes, I am in the USA. Oh, thank you. Yes, empowering others. Very great. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. Okay, so MD Arafat, PSM1 and CSM or CSM, yes, you can have either or. It's the same. It's the same. So PSM is all, it's just that PSM1 is offered by scrum.org, while CSM is offered by Scrum Alliance. But it's the same. The only difference like that is because with the CSM, you must take their 2 days mandatory training. And I think the price ranges from, depending on the trainer, from 1,000 to about $1,500. You must take their 2 days mandatory training before you can go get certified. But with PSM, you can take your training anywhere. You can self-study and then you go get certified, but it all means the same. Yeah, why not? Yeah, that's a great place to start. Either having a PSM or a CSM. It's a great place to start because I see a lot of people, they go take CSM and then they go take PSM. It's the same. It's the same. Don't waste your money like that. Just take one and then you can take the next level. You can choose to go the CSM route. You can choose to go the PSM route. So after you take PSM1, if you want another certification, you go take PSM2. For CSM, you can take CSM and then you take ACSM, which is Advanced Certified Scrum Master. Advanced Certified Scrum Master is like the bridge between a Scrum Master and being a release train engineer. That's that bridge. Like you are really not a release train engineer. You're not a basic Scrum Master. You are like senior Scrum Master role. Yeah. So don't waste your money taking PSM1 and then go take CSM. I see even some of my students have that. But again, that's why it's very good to have someone to direct you so you don't end up being all over the place because you are trying to save money. Because that's what a lot of people do. They are trying to save money and then they end up spending time, which is even more expensive than the money. And then, just getting so overwhelmed with so much information because they don't have a clear scope to just focus on what they truly need. Yeah, self certification is good for people that are really looking into moving into going the release train engineering direction. And I mean, even as a Scrum Master, I also see organizations, they practice safe there. So if you have a safe certification as a Scrum Master, it will be good because you increase your chances of you having a job in an environment that practice safe. And I see a lot of jobs out there that practice safe. But other organizations, another approach that is like similar to safe, which is really not safe, is the OKR, objectives and key results. I see a lot of organizations practice that now, and that's my favorite. I love it so much. I'm not saying that safe is bad in any way. That's just my personal experience, and I prefer OKR approach. Yeah, so I always say no knowledge is ever useless. More is always better. So the more you have your certifications, the better. But rather than spending all of your money, keep having thousands of certifications, trust me, get your CSM certification. If you don't have it yet, get one, get a mentor. That's what you need. You need a mentor to get that job. Once you get that job, you'll be able to easily figure out your next steps to move up the ladder. Rather than spending all of the money to get all of these certifications, spend that money to get a good mentor, a good committed mentor. And then from there, your direction will be so clear, you will not even believe it. Okay, so Jean-Philippe, just go on. After this, I would just, let me try to see. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave our email. Just send an email or you go through our website, www.beingagileconsulting.com, and just go from there, book your appointment to speak with a potential mentor. They'll provide you with all the information, or you can send a direct email to info at beingagileconsulting.com. info@beingagileconsulting.com. Yeah, and our administrator will assist you to the best of her ability. All right, so Arafat is asking, is Scrum Master and Agile Coach same role, different title? No, it's not same role. It's not same role at all. It's not. As an Agile Coach, you really come in from an organizational standpoint. But as a Scrum Master, you come in from a team standpoint, from a Scrum team standpoint. But that doesn't mean you cannot offer coaching at organizational level when it's needed. You have to. It's part of your responsibilities. Remember, if you check the Scrum Guide, you see the services of a Scrum Master to the organization. There'll be times when you realize that your organization is your impediment, just because they are lacking on the understanding of the having the agile mindset. You cannot just fold your hands and say that you're just a Scrum Master. You cannot do it, because you'll make your own life even difficult for you to have your peace. It's very important that you coach as needed. But as an Agile Coach, you're coming in, you're diving in from an organizational standpoint. That's how it works. Arafat, how much documentation is relevant in Scrum? Okay, that's a very great question. Shalini, that's a very great question. So let me tell you something. The reason why Scrum is even put in place is to increase visibility and transparency into the work you're doing. If you've empowered your team very well, and you're creating your visibility and transparency into your team, your stakeholders are able to know what's going on all the time. You're really leveraging these Scrum events. From the metrics standpoint, your metrics are good and ready. You will not need no documentation. But if you find your organization keep asking you for documentations up and down, like reports all the time, then, because I see a lot of Scrum Masters, they get pissed off that, oh, this organization, they keep asking me for reports all the time. I wouldn't be pissed off for something like that. I would be questioning myself. Why are they asking this? What am I not doing right? What is still the gap that we still have in visibility? Because if they ask, these people need to know. They need to know. They cannot just leave everything to you and then just go find their place and sit quiet. No, they need this information to have peace. They need this information to make sure everything is on track, because they are accountable to their customers. They need the information to make business decisions. So it's your job to create that visibility and transparency through these official Scrum events that have been put in place, especially the review, and then through the metrics that, especially the tools that you use offer. Jira has all the sort of metrics in there that you can just go in there and customize the one that will be valuable to you. And then Azure DevOps have the same. Make sure you create that visibility and transparency through all of that. If you're doing that, then documentation will not be required. If you require documentation, then you should be questioning whether you really have true visibility and transparency in the work you're doing. All right. Okay, Yemi said, I took my Scrum certification through International Scrum Institute. Oh yeah, that's a great one. Yes, it is. It is. It is. As a matter of fact, the founder of Scrum, one of the founding fathers of Scrum, is the owner for that site. Yeah. Any idea of a good institution where one can? Yes. I'm not here to really promote people's organizations or anything like that, but yes, I can tell you that there are great programs out there. Maybe you can look up Northeastern University. It's based in Massachusetts. There is an online version, there is a hybrid version, there is an in-person class version. They have great programs there, both grad and undergrad programs for project management. Oh, okay. Yeah, yes. Yeah, I mean, so for the documents, the software that they use to do the design, the designing and all of that, that's what they should be having. Not some paper, not some kind of paper forms of documentation. Remember, one of the values of Agile, working software over comprehensive documentation. But again, it doesn't mean that comprehensive documentation is completely eradicated. That's really not what that means. We only mean that we prefer working software over comprehensive documentation. That's what really matters. That's what really adds value to us. But trust me, in reality, mostly in a regulated environment like medical industry, like financial industry, they require some certain level of documentation for these regulatory people that always come all the time. So yes, in reality, that's what is happening. Even though Agile says that working software over comprehensive documentation, but it's hard to really do that. That is why, again, I love Agile, because it's not, and they try to make it not very less prescriptive, so that you can always adjust it to fit your environment, keeping in mind the guidelines, making as long as you remain within the guidelines of Agile and Scrum, you can tweak it to fit your environment. Yep. Yeah, yeah, you can track it to fit your environment. Yes, some form of documentation is required. Again, before I forget, that is why also you would see most organizations, they'll hardly do full-time Agile and Scrum like that. They mostly do hybrid. That's what's happening in reality. They mostly do hybrid. Because remember, Scrum is not there to fix all of the problems of project management. Scrum is not there to fix all the waterfall problems. Nope. Scrum is just used to develop solutions that are complex, that really fits Scrum, as well as the waterfall approach also has its own, still has its place. It's not every project that you will be able to use Scrum to find their solution. It's not every project. Waterfall still has its place. Again, that's why there is no way you can completely do away with documentation. Or even if your organization is even doing full-time Agile, which I have full-time Scrum, which I haven't really seen happen like that. Yeah, most of the time there will still be some form of documentation, especially if it's a regulated environment. Yeah, so no, it's not really like that. This thing is not a one day thing. You don't go sit, Shalini, to your question, you don't just go sit one day and say you want to develop a document the same way. So you can put documentation part as part of the sprint work. It should be part of it. I see teams even creating a user story for that. They create a user story for that, and then they can deliver a piece of it, and then the next sprint, if they still have some piece to do on the documentation, is another user story. The point is they just have to size a user story that can fit into one sprint. And then the next sprint, they can create another user story until they are able to deliver the whole thing from a documentation standpoint. All right, I think I've overstayed. I plan to be here only for 1 hour, but I have exceeded. I've exceeded my stay here. So again, everybody, thank you all so much for watching. Like I said, from time to time, I'll keep doing this. I'll keep showing up here from time to time, based on need. I just don't want to show up here because I want to show up here. No, I want it to be very value driven. I want it to be very value driven. So based on the need of people, I'll come up here and see so that I can reach to as many people as possible, in just like taking one stone and shooting two birds, as opposed to trying to respond to everybody. I just cannot keep up. And then I see some people getting really frustrated because their questions are not answered on time. That's just funny though. That's just funny. It's really funny because I try my best. I don't blame them to get frustrated, but sometimes I think it's just funny. I try my best. It's just so hard to keep up. It's just so hard to keep up. if sometimes you send an email, even though I'm not the one monitoring the email, but they usually let me know some things that need my attention. If you ask a question and you don't get an answer like on time, like right away, trust me, I am not there yet. If I get there, I'll definitely respond to you. I'm very responsive, trust me. But if I don't respond to it, it's not like I'm ignoring. I'm really not an ignoring kind of person. Yeah. Nta Augustine. Yeah, so I think this is gonna be the last question I'll answer here. Yeah, so release burn down chart, right? Is the metrics that you use to track the completion of what you plan to release, to track how you're going. If you're still on, just the way you have sprint burn down chart, you're tracking you're burning the work of that sprint. It's the same for release burn down chart. It's the same thing. It's just that one is from a release standpoint, because before everything, you've already pre-planned what you intend to release, and then you start doing the work. And then as you're doing the work, you have that chart that will help you just track if you're still on track to release as you have planned, or there are some danger. So it really helps you identify if there are risks, and then you make adjustments based on that. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. Please don't forget to share. Don't forget to, like it, and just continue to encourage me as much as you can. The same way you all need that encouragement, I also need that encouragement to show up here. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much, and have a great rest of your Sunday. Yes, there is release burn down chat in Jira. Tolu, yes, I know I called your name like like I gave birth to you. Yeah, because I'm just so used to with a lot of Nigerians. That's how I know how to pronounce that name very well. Yeah, so yes, there is. Jira has everything, not everything, like so many metrics that you may ever need. Just go in there, look for what is valuable to you, and then you configure it. Very easy to do. Yeah, and then just before I go, please, if you need mentoring, if you've just had a certification only, and then you may not even have a solid understanding of what's going on in this whole agile space, if you think you need direction, reach out to us. Reach out to us, www.beingagileconsulting.com, or you can send us a direct email through info@beingagileconsulting.com. We would always respond to you. So, but you can also go to our website, you get our information there, get our contact information, give us a call, send us an email, and then we will walk you through next steps or what you need in order to get started. But thank you all so much. It's been a pleasure. I had a lot of fun talking with you all, and have a great rest of your Sunday. Bye. I'm not even sure.